The more we sweat in peace, the less we bleed in war. Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the Russian-Ukraine war and its effects on India and on the globe. We name this topic as the burning peace.
In Ukraine's eastern Donbas region began fighting against the Ukrainian government. This conflict escalated into a full-scale war between Russia and Ukraine. Russia annexed Crimea from Ukraine in March 2014, which was widely condemned by the international community. This war has caused thousands of deaths, particularly in eastern Europe.
Vladimir Putin announced the move in an unscheduled TV address. He told the Ukraine troops to lay down arms and go back, and any interference in his attack would lead to consequences they would never have seen. He named this activity as peacekeeping.
On 10th November 2021, pro-Russian separatists were found near the Ukraine border. The news spread on 28th November 2021 that around more than 1 lakh troops were present near the Ukraine border and they could attack any time by mid-January to early February. By December, the news reached to the US intelligence, leading to a warning by US President Joe Biden.
This was a fake de-escalation. According to experts, Russia could be waiting for Beijing Winter Olympics to end to move forward with Ukraine invasion. This theory sounds weird, but 20th February was the last day of Beijing Winter Olympics, and on the very next day, that is 21st February,
the European countries and the USA firms said that Putin is trying to capture Ukrainians' entire country. The red circle on this map are the permanent settlements, the black dots that you see on this map, and the new troops that have been deployed in the last few months. NATO allies send deadly weapons to Ukraine. NATO provides financial help and weapons to Ukraine. If you look at the Ukraine military strength against Russia, Russia's active soldiers are 4 times that of Ukraine. More than 15 times the number of fighter jets that Ukraine has, more than 5 times of number of tanks, and that's why Ukraine deployed more than 2.5 lakh of the reserve forces. In September 2021, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine in eastern Ukraine appeared to have a relative calm. Both sides reported an increase in ceasefire violations, and there were reports that Russia has been accused of providing military support to separatist rebels in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine has been seeking international support to counter what it sees as Russia's aggressions, additional sanctions against Russia. In August 2021, Ukraine and NATO held joint military exercises in the Black Sea, which were criticized by Russia as provocative. The situation in the region remains tense. There were concerns that the conflict could escalate further. Civilians are also being trained. Russia threatens other countries to deploy the nuclear weapons if any other country try to interfere. The US and its allies coordinated first round of sanctions against Russia over its troop deployment to the breaking region of Ukraine. The US, Europe, Japan and other countries have already declared economic sanctions against Russia and said if Russia takes further steps towards an invasion, more economic sanctions would be imposed. The UK has targeted top 5 Russian banks. The United Nations has also condemned this. The most important economic sanctions was from Germany. Germany has stopped the certification of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. More than 50% of the Germany's gas supplies from Russia. This is the thing about economic sanctions. When some other country is isolated or is economically affected, it affects your country too.
What role does India play in this Russian-Ukraine crisis? How it will affect India? What steps should India take? We have divided these effects into 3 categories: immediate concerns, medium-term concerns, and long-term concerns. The immediate challenge for the Indian government was to ensure safety of Indians and Indian students that were in Ukraine. These students were forced to leave their studies midway and come back home. The Indian government conducted Operation Ganga and safely brought back 18,000 students.
The medium-term concern of Indian government is related to the economy and the price of petrol. As the latest economic status of the Indian government has estimated that the price of petrol would be $100 per barrel, highest since September 2014. As Russia is the second largest oil producer and 13% global crude oil is from Russia.
Long-term impact of Ukraine-Russian war on India. India is hugely dependent on Russia for military supplies. Nearly of the Indian arms import from Russia. The BrahMos cruise missile is an example of the joint venture between India and Russia. In fact, the name BrahMos is named after the name of two rivers, Indian river Brahmaputra and Russian river Oskova. Indian ambassadors from Ukraine vote in United Nations Security Council. India remains neutral. Effect on stock market. Within a few minutes of the market open on 24th March, the Sensex crashed by 2700 points. People started panic selling. In a few minutes, rupees 7.5 lakh crore of investors' wealth wiped from the market. Petrol price rise in India. International flight price shot by 45%. Whenever the fuel price increases, inflation rate increases. As the rise in transport costs, industrial dependent on logistics and transport will see a rise in price because the fuel prices will be passed on.
In conclusion, the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine has implications for the countries around the world, including India. While India has maintained a cautious stance, it will continue to closely monitor the situation and its potential impact on its energy security.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more JMIT reports.